marina. If you can picture the marina property, it starts down low and then it's got the tiers. And so the drain field, of course, is up. It's actually up by the entrance. So there might need to be, there probably going to be another lift station. But so I just need to get comments back to them, and there is no dollar amounts yet attached to it for construction. So get my comments back to them. And then the next thing we'll ask them to do, we're talking about Anderson Perry, is to do construction estimates so that we can figure out what we're going to do for funding. The RCO is the most likely agency for funding, and they are in even years, which is 2024. So the timing will be right. We would need to be prepared to apply to the RCO, Resource Conservation Office.
Right.
So that, and then their store and restaurant are open more spring hours now. I think the store is open until 5 or 6 every day, and they're open for lunch. And then just on I think it was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they're open for light dinners at this point. So they are back open and getting ready for the season. Yeah.
Ready for spring.
Yes.
Okay. New Mountain Station.
Okay, so before I show you the video, I will give you an update on CURB. So we submitted our application after the last meeting, and CURB said that we met all the threshold requirements of the application. So invited me to come present at their board meeting on March 16th. So that usually means we'll be funded. I mean, they usually don't invite you to come unless you're going to be funded. So Phil has a maltster convention that week, but it's okay. You know, that business doesn't have to go. So it'll probably be just me. And so I'm trying to figure out logistics. It's in Olympia, of course, but I will go and present, and then we'll know, and then we can get started on the study. Yeah. And then I did have another business come to me looking for space. They make cider. They have been making it in their garage, which means they cannot sell it legally because alcohol is very heavily regulated. So they're just, by this fall, they really need space, and we don't have any. So we're going to keep in touch. I think we'll talk about this a little bit in the comp plan workshop, but Seth and I did talk a little bit when we met this month about needing a building and, you know, putting that on the list of things to potentially look for money for, which is.
Is that a local cider maker?
Yep. They're from Walla Walla. There's 3 of them. They all have a winery background, and you'll love this. They use all gleaned apples for the cider.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So they use apples from you drive up Crawl Hollow and you see the old twisted trees with apples growing on them. They do that. And other people that have really small orchards that they can't use all the apples, they take them and make the cider. So yeah, they're interesting guys.
Before we continue, after last month's meeting, I was wondering that $6,000 that we contributed towards the feasibility study, what funding does that come from?
Well, you know,
Is that under special projects?
well, special projects usually has a funding source. That's a line item that will allow, if we get a new grant, then we have an expenditure for it. So I don't really put things in there that don't have a funding, a revenue source. So I would say it would probably be economic development. Yep.
Sure.
We have lots in community support, architecture and engineering. You know, we had extra budgeted there. Can't do consultants because that's taken up by the comp plan, but let's see. I don't know if I
was just curious on
a specific spot. I wasn't too concerned about it because we seem to have room in several of our line items, but yeah, it could either be community support or economic development would be easy.
I forgot to ask a question when we were in the budget report of an admin.
Okay.
Can we go back to it?
Mhm.
That 5565 under consultants, what was that expenditure in February?
That's
Hi there.
MFA. That's them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So we had budgeted 50,000 there, and the budget's likely to be closer to 60,
Yes.
but as you know, we had plenty of reserve.
Yes.
So, but that's what that is. Yep. And Anderson Perry, you know, they're still trying to work on finishing the bike trail. When I talked to them, they said that this is the time of year when everybody, you know, because they're doing the 3rd Street Road project for the city and other things. And this is when everything needs to be put out for bid. So they said they're just kind of focused on that right now. And so we haven't had any expenditures from them for a couple of months. Okay.
Okay.
Can I show the video? Do you mind? Okay. Oh, this is just one of the ads. This is a short ad.
Red Band Cellars, R&B Meadery, and Club and Commercial Kitchen. We invite you to support Dave in Washington today.
So that's one of the 15-second ads. So now I need to find the actual video. Why is it not popping up? All right, we'll open it again.
At the Blue Mountain Station Cooperative in Dave in Washington, we are.
Did I open another short one?
Is it different short one?
Too many.
Bolts and baked goods, and so much more. We invite you to explore Dave in Washington today.
There we go. Here's the right one. I hate seeing myself on
Local
camera.
have more than doubled over the past decade, thanks in part to local efforts, such as right here in Dayton at the Blue Mountain Artisan Food Center. Let's check it out. The Blue Mountain Station Co-op Market is one of the 7 spaces in the building and really the heart of the village. And I'm here with Val, the manager of the Co-op Market. And Val, you guys not only sell everybody's products here, but you also represent over 40 different vendors in the area.
We do, yes. Both with food and beverage, we try to focus on things that are produced locally in the area. That includes wine, kombucha, candy, farmed products, dairy, you name it. If it's local, we try to bring it in here and give people a showcase for what they produce. We also have a lot of organic and gluten-free products that aren't available really close in town. So it's a place where people can come and get that kind of stuff and not have to travel 70-mile round trip to Walla Walla for everything that they might need.
And Jenny, here at the Artisan Food Market, you guys also have a commercial kitchen. Tell me about it.
Well, we have a kitchen that can be rented by the hour. So businesses from across the region can make an appointment on our calendar and come in and use it to bake products, whether it's starting up a business or making baked goods for sale in a coffee shop, things like that. And several of the tenants that we have on site have actually started their businesses in this kitchen, built up their market well enough that they had the revenue stream to rent a space from us. So it's kind of like a business incubator as well as being used by local businesses.
And tenant Tracy from Sweet Cheeks Bake Shop offers treats just like grandma used to make.
Pretty much, yeah. I use real butter, real berries when they're in season, try to source those locally. Everything on our ingredient label you would have found in your grandma or your great grandma's kitchen. This business was kind of born out of COVID, that I know a lot of other businesses were at the same time. I loved baking through middle school and high school and then kind of fell away from it when I was in college. And then when I found myself more time on my hands, kind of came to life again.
And if people want to taste the difference, where can they find you?
I'm here at Blue Mountain Station just one day a week on Fridays for retail business. Next door at the Blue Mountain Station Co-op, they carry my cinnamon rolls. And then folks might have actually tried my product in local coffee shops in Tri-Cities.
And people can also order online.
Right, exactly. Yeah, online is a great way to get your own order.
Local produce is something that can be found at the Blue Mountain Station, and we are in a greenhouse. Andreas from Onyx Farm, you'll be providing that produce. What can people expect?
People can expect a variety of produce beginning June. I'll have my spring greens starting June, and throughout summer, I'll be offering different vegetables. I'll be offering flowers, watermelon, and pumpkin up until the end of October, whenever the first frost hits.
This is your first year in the co-op. Why offer local fresh produce?
Well, I've lived here the past few years and I've noticed that there's a lack of locally sourced produce. We get a lot of produce from different areas in the country, and I want to offer a place that people from Dayton can come to just down the street from their house and be able to buy produce at an affordable price.
Tenant Barden B Meadery takes us back in time, and Mike is the head mead maker. First off, Mike, what is mead?
So mead is one of the first alcohols known to man. It's a very simple combination of water, yeast, honey, and thyme. And what I do over here is I take simple varietals of honey. So let's say honey sourced from a blackberry orchard, or honey sourced from, let's say, orange blossoms in Florida. So it's not the fruit that carries over, but the essence of the fruit will carry with the honey. And then all you have to do is take a little bit of that, a little bit of water and some care, and then you ferment it into some beautiful mead.
Red Band Cellars is one of the tenants here, and Dave, the head winemaker, one of 2 wineries here, and you're really forging winemaking in this area. Why start a winery here?
The way the wine business has grown nationally is valley to valley. So we have the Walla Walla Valley very well established. The Chichi Valley is not. And my goal is to develop wines that are unique to Chichi Valley wines and to show what we have up here in Dayton. And this is just the perfect place to make wine.
We really try to get as pure of a vodka as we possibly can from a straight premium, just because that is the base of everything else we do, all of our different flavors, the infusions. So I'll give you a couple things. Blue Mountain water, the Dayton water, is some of the best and most pure water in the world. So it has the right pH content and balance and mineral content. It's just amazing water. And when you're making a vodka, that's very important. You have to dilute it down to the proof with a water, right? And then also what we like to do is we filter it for a long time to take a lot of the harsh minerals out of the vodka. So it ends up being a very, very smooth vodka experience, and it's easy for us to infuse our flavors.
And quality and customer service is what you get at Ray's Roast, and Regina is here to tell us a little bit about that customer service and quality from your coffee.
Well, I think that I like the old style of doing business with good customer service. And I've had these people who come back year after year after year, from the time that they were introduced to that high quality coffee, and they just keep coming back.
And can you tell me about that high quality coffee? Because obviously that is what got them to you, and quality and customer service go hand in hand.
I get coffees from all over the world, and I like a certain robustness to my coffee. And I find anymore that I can't get that from lesser coffee. My unique roasting profile is mine, and I self-taught it, and it's different from those. And so there's a certain uniqueness to Ray's Roast coffee.
Exactly.
And
so people
so-
can get world-class coffee roasted right here in Dayton.
That's it.
So we invite you to explore Dayton. 7 tenants, over 40 local vendors. Keep it local.
There you go. Yeah, there's a few things that, I mean, the lady kept calling it, Dayton, and it's a village, and she kept referring to the co-op when it's, the co-op's one little, the greenhouse, it's funny. But anyway, it was good. It's gotten a great response on social media. Yeah.
I had not met Andres. Is that
Yeah,
is that how it's pronounced?
Andres,
Andreas.
isn't it?
That was Andreas. I don't know.
Okay.
There's no A in it.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to what he plans.
Right. Yeah, he's down there working hard on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
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 Okay.
Yeah, so I think that is all I have for that report.
So thank you. CWW Railroad.
I don't have anything to report other than what we will discuss during the workshop. We have done some, visiting with other ports, and they've got some things they want to talk about with that. So we'll talk about that during the workshop.
Okay. So that's it for port assets. We'll go
Yeah.
to Community and Economic Development, Director's Report.
Yeah, so I did meet with one of the companies that is considering buying the Columbia Pulp facility. So that was really interesting. everything is still being kept very close to the vest, but they thought a decision should be made, this spring. I know it was I think the receivership had originally said it would be done by the end of December, but our attorney is the one that's getting legal, what are the word, communications. And she said that they got one that said it was going to be extended. So still in process. I had a whole report that I gave on Tuesday and I didn't put it down here in front of me. There is a flyer over there called there's going to be a celebration at the school called to celebrate Patrisky, who was a very interesting early settler, very benevolent, who gave land for the high school and money for the school. And he was the catalyst for the vocational agriculture program that we have. So I've just helped a little bit, but just helping that committee with a presentation or a community celebration they're going to have on April 20th. What else did I report in that meeting? Why did I not bring my sticky note? I can't remember. There were several other things. We did the broadband flyer and have been handing that out. I have handed it out around town and sent out several newsletters. There are some grant programs coming open again. I don't know how many businesses here really still need help from COVID, but it could be a couple of the lodging establishments might. So I've put out one on that. And then the Downtown Walla Walla Foundation applied for a grant to the state that we had no knowledge of, which I have complained about that. I feel like a county should know if somebody's applying for funds on their behalf. However, so there's two parts to it. And the first part was really Walla Walla centric. So I have not advertised it, but the second part is a business pitch competition and the grand prize is $100,000. And there are other prizes. Below that. And so that would be for like a startup. So that would be someone in Columbia County who has a business idea, needs money to get started. This would be an opportunity for them to participate. And I mean, if they have to go through a process, an application process, they have to go present at the Powerhouse Theater. I mean, it's a big deal, but it is exciting. So I just got word about that today. So I've prepared a newsletter. I'm going to send it out, try to put things on social media, try to get the word out about that one, because that is, you never know, kind of interesting. So that I think is enough for me.
Okay. Housing presentation area.
So I think I mentioned to you before the idea, the presentation I'd heard from the city of Anacortes council person that was so good. So I have reached out to the city of Dayton and asked if, the city of Dayton, to see if they would be interested.
No.
I mean, housing is really, I mean, the beginning part of housing is about zoning and planning. You know, these two and I earlier tonight talked about the 7 acres at Blue Mountain Station. You know, even though it's zoned for housing, is it zoned for the kind of housing we want? So I just thought it would be fun if the city of Dayton, the council, and it would just be an optional, it's not like a forced thing, but if we could do it together, you know, get this guy to come present and have, or he'd probably do it via Zoom. I mean, it would work great because of the PowerPoint presentation, but just invite them along. So we're all hearing the information at the same time. So I talked to Deb and she was going to talk to the mayor and get back to me. But if so, I'd like to schedule that for during one of our Port Commission meeting times in like April or May. So if you are on board with that, I will continue to pursue that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Broadband.
Okay. I see Kara's on. She's just in time. And Johnny's given us a thumbs up. Thank you, Johnny. Okay, so Dayton Community Broadband Project. I drove around today and looked at where they've been trenching, not just here, but they're trenching at Blue Mountain Station. Looks like they're boring under Wagon Road, and everything that I've seen so far looks really good. You know, what they're leaving behind looks really good. So I want to make sure that that things are put back in place. We have had no public complaints yet about anything. So it's amazing. Knock on wood. So, and they have door hangers that we help them put together. They're little, we should show them to the door hangers, little door hangers that say that there will be work in your neighborhood. It's most particular for the ones that have underground service, because there are some homes that have to have underground. And we've had them sign a waiver. We've been through all these processes, but we want to make sure they know when it's happening. And it has Tracy's phone number on it. And then the contractor's writing his phone number on it so that if anybody wants to call with a question, they can call and get some answers. So far, so good. And I think I forgot to tell you earlier, but that invoice from 0DB, Kara is going through invoices before we pay them, because she's got so much experience on projects. So she's going through them and making sure what we're being billed for matches the as-built, and we're having them submit as-built drawings that show where they have actually been constructing. So, yes. So the first thing that we need to approve would be the Legacy Power Systems bid. And I want to explain this note to file to you if I didn't well enough. Because this is federal funds, the funding requirements say that if you do not have more than one bid, that we need to contact our program manager, which is Curb. So I called Curb. We did not want to delay this. So I called Curb. We were, Kara had been in touch with Noanet, and she knew they weren't going to submit a bid because all they were going to do was mark up Legacy's bid. Right. So I called Janae before the deadline and talked it through with her, and she understood immediately because this is unique work. And she said she had no problem with it. So I typed this up, sent it to her so that she has a copy of this is basically a summary of our conversation. And so that we'll have this in the file. So, and Kara said she didn't think there'd be any issue with that at all. So, and Kara's worked with Legacy. So we have the Legacy bid, and it is a very dry bid. That's why I didn't send it to you. It is basically a list of electrical stuff they're going to do. And it is $103,352.26. And this is paid for by the grant. So I'm looking for a vote to approve that.
Okay, I read your write-up here, Jenny. I would like to move that we accept Legacy Power Systems bid in the amount of $103,352.26 for the co-location facility.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Hey.
You good, Johnny? Yep, he approves. Okay, thank you, Johnny. Okay, good. And they're, I think, ready to get going right away, aren't they, Kara? When you talk to Legacy, are they ready to start right away as soon as we get a contract in place?
They will have to order some of the battery strings. And so I think that's why they want to have that contract so they can order the materials that they don't have in stock. But
okay,
yes, they're looking forward to it.
And Kara and I are prepared to work on a contract right away. She's going to help with that. So, okay. All right. Do you want, is there anything else, Kara, that you want to talk about for the first project, or is that good enough? For our ongoing project now, do you have anything you want to report on?
Nope, I think you covered it. It's exciting.
Okay, great. It is exciting. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the next project, Tushy Valley Broadband project, we had 2 RFPs. One is for cultural resources. The other is for design. Cultural resources on the first project, I got lucky, and we have an archaeologist in Dayton. His name is Ray Tracy, and I got lucky, and he was available, and he did it for us for $500. So that is not going to be the case in this one, especially since we're going 6 miles down the highway. So I was impressed. We got this many RFPs, and I did not realize that Anderson Perry did cultural resource work, but that makes sense that they do. I mean, they did it. They were doing it for the trail project. And then, so we went through the proposals, and they have a great price. They have all the experience, and we already work with them and know they're a great company. So I saw no reason not to recommend them for the work.
So I have a question. You said that we're already doing some trenching. Wouldn't that have required some cultural resource determination?
Well, that's what I say. The first one's done. This is on the next project.
Oh.
The first one, we already have submitted all the paperwork required to the State Office Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation. They told us we needed to have a document called an unanticipated discovery form and a cultural resources monitoring plan. And that was what I got. So lucky that Ray wrote for me for very, very little money. But it's pretty easy because it's most of it's in the city and only 10% of it's digging. So in the city, see, things are already paved, they're already disturbed, it's a different
Right.
situation when you're in the more
6
open.
miles of underground.
Yes, that's a different story. So, yeah. So that's why, and it could be that on the first project, I should have done this more detailed effort, but it was so early in the process that we didn't really have the list of,
Okay.
you must do this.
Yes.
So, when we get our federal audit, they may say, you should have done that. But what did we put at risk? $500. It's really pretty minimal. So
So that anytime you disturb 6 inches or something like that? Is that when you have to?
no, it's not that. It's not that. It's really more about where it is and the where it is, whether it's culturally sensitive areas or if it's not already been disturbed. It just has more to do with that. They always add, there's a form you fill out. It's called an easy one. And it asks how close are you to historic properties? How close are you to this? You just have to fill out the form. And then that's what, but because this is federal funding, they're asking for monitoring plans, even in places that might not have. And also remember, this first project is only 10% of it's underground. It's really mostly, and they, it's through somebody's, some of it's just through somebody's front yard. So it's a little bit different. Okay.
All right. So I would like to move that we accept Anderson Carey's bid of $1,500 for the cultural resources service under the Tushi Valley Broadband Project.
Well, I definitely like their pricing experience with it, so I'll go ahead and second that.
Great.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Johnny says
passes.
approved. Okay. All right. So the last one, and that was one of the reasons I asked Kara to join us because she helped me interview companies. So this one, we had 7 respondents and we decided because 2 of them had really low prices, Horrocks ended up changing, but 2 of them had prices that were so low that it was kind of, a little bit confusing. So I kind of felt like I wanted to know why someone would give such a low price. So we went after, Tracy actually helped me go through them the first set, and we chose the 4 lowest, even though when you're choosing for design, you don't have to choose the lowest bid, okay? It's not all just about money, but we chose the 4 lowest because you can see those 2 other ones were very, very high. And we interviewed them. And so I have just a summary of the interviews down below, very small summary, but I also have notes for the file. Kara took notes during the interviews and I took notes during the interviews. And so the way Kara put it to me, because 0DB became the top contender once again. And the way Kara put it to me was, if you're designing a house, you don't pick a new architect. You don't pick a new architect for no reason when you're adding a room or building the garage. So she agreed that it was the right choice. So what would you like to add, Kara, to my not very eloquent statement
No, I
about
think.
our companies?
Yeah, it was good to see so many proposals. As
Yes.
Jenny said, 4, were really close in their price range and timeline. And there were concerns with at least one of the really low ones. They're siting on the other side of the United States, and the use of subcontractors might not allow them to deliver the product you need and to stay in that budget number that they were providing. It didn't seem realistic. And yeah, 0DBs has a good history with the Port of Columbia and also with PacifiCorp and with the DOT regional staff, and I think that's going to be beneficial to this project as it involves a lot of DOT right away. So.
Yep, so that is our recommendation is 0 dB, and believe it or not, it's actually under our budget range. Several of them were, so, yeah.
I like sticking with 0 dB on it, and I don't think we should be changing either.
Okay.
Their price is right in there. They check all the boxes, have the high scores all the way down. I think we'd be money ahead to stay with them.
Okay.
I would like to then move that we accept the bid from 0 dB of $68,960 for the Federal House design project for Tushy Valley.
And I will go ahead and second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye,
Aye.
Johnny says approve.
excellent. Motion passes.
All right, good. That's amazing how long that takes, and then it only takes us 5 minutes to approve it. We did a lot of work, but it was exciting. And thank you, Kara, for your help very much. Couldn't do it without. Yeah.
Lisa, if you all have is there anything else from me, Jenny? I can't remember.
Well, I have the rural broadband planning, but I don't think so. No, Calvin's the one that's been helping with that. Unless you had any comments on what we're doing with WSU and State Broadband Office.
Well, the one comment that I could make is that, so the WSU Extension's working with attempting to work with every county and every tribe in the state to develop a broadband action plan and a digital equity plan. And through these efforts, there's a little bit of a horse race on which county can get to the finish line first. And right now, Columbia County is in the lead. I could tell you that. So your staff and your community are doing a good job collaborating and working on the plan. And I think that's exciting.
I didn't even know we were in first place. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Have a nice evening.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah, so anyway, we have another meeting this Friday. We're moving into the next phase, which is they're providing us a base map, and it is supposed to help us try to determine how we would work on the infrastructure plan and the digital equity plan, who is hard to reach. So it's going to be challenging. I think there will be some surveys we'll probably be sending out to the community. I think WSU has some money available for any of that type of work we need to do. I haven't completely sorted through that yet, but trying to, it's hard to, we had a discussion at the meeting, is that it's really hard to send a digital survey out to find out who doesn't have internet. It doesn't work. So we thought sending a mailer would probably be a really good idea so that we could figure out who might be wanting help and doesn't have it. So we'll see how that all goes along.
Okay.
Yep. I think that's it
Okay.
for me.
Anybody have anything else? Okay, that's the last thing on our agenda, so I will open it up for our last round of public comment before our workshop. So does anybody have any public comment? On Zoom? Hearing none, it's 5:45 and I will adjourn our regular meeting.
Good job, Seth. He's getting this chairman thing down.
Get it.
Then that recording and start the next one.
Okay, yes, I'm going to stop the recording because then I can separate them on YouTube. So I'm going to stop.